Well, hello, retail traders. This is Washboardjim with a sneaky snake trading strategy where I'm going to talk about this week's watch list and how I think I'm going to trade it. So, we started off earnings seasons last week, and it didn't sound too good to Uncle Jimmy. The banks, the forecasts of the banks weren't doing too hot. And then we got another one coming out on Monday, Goldman Sachs, and then we got Schwab, and we got MLT Bank, and then Guaranteed Bank and Trust on Monday. So can that inspire the big banks? I think it was Wells Fargo couldn't put out a forecast, and then Jamie Dimon, of course, is not really happy about geopolitical politics right now, and that he thinks it could lead into something a little bit more serious. So, yeah, there's the bank's watch list if you want to copy and paste that. I'll be watching it all week. Probably that's what we're going to be watching most of the... they keep talking about interest rates, blah, blah. They were totally wrong about it. So, earnings on banks were iffy because of the forecast, and everybody talks about the guidance. The guidance is everything. So, I expected them to be a little bit better. But they were good, just the guidance. So that's what we got to kind of worry about. So we'll be watching them all this week. And that'll be earnings. Jamie Dimon shares drop after bank gives disappointing guidance. I mean, that's a big deal. It used to be. And this market's called everything wrong so far from the last 2 or 3 years. And they're still wrong because they called for six interest rate cuts and we're not getting it. So we're going to go ahead and go over the watch list. So I'm bearish. I'm bearish because of geopolitical. I've been bearish like that for a while. I've been saying it almost every time I get on here. We had an irrational, extremely too big of a run. I mean, I can understand a good run, but not something that I'm not accustomed to. I've never seen in the 20 years that I've trading. So I'm going to take it with a grain of salt. I think we will come back on some of these stocks real good. Well, we have. Some of them dropped 400 or 500 points already. So, yeah. I mean, they're way up there. So let's get into the watch list. I think we're overbought still, is what I'm trying to say. Now, we've had a pretty red week last week, and we're going to start off with the top of the list. SPX. SPX pulled back almost to a 20-day low, so we're going to see if we can retest that low at 51.05. If we don't test that low at 51.05, I mean, if we break below it, we could see 50.80 come Monday, and I expect a little bit more pullback. So here on the, this is the SPX. So if you pull up the daily, we broke down below the 21, and we're at a pivot point. Now I did call this out, this support out area, at 51.05, and we pretty much hit it. So if we keep dropping down and we do not hold the 1, 2, 3 right here, you can see the 1, 2, 3 on the daily, which is a little bit lower. We'll come down and hit the 63 EMA, and that will be your next support level. Your 63 EMA moving average on the daily, and that's the SPX. And then we've got Apple. Apple had a real good run last week. We called the bottom of a wedge, a falling wedge on Apple last week. Had a little falling wedge, and then she broke out on Thursday and Friday and had a double top. I called the double top out. I said, be careful if you're in this trade. Take some profit. But they've been pumping Apple big time. SPY. Here's the 20-day on the SPY. We're still bearish. We are down here at a shoulder line of a head and shoulders. We're at a bottom on a 20-day. We can go lower because, like I said, I think we're way overbought in this market. But we also had a real nice pullback. And usually when we get a good pullback, we get a nice little bounce. So I mean, when you have a when you have a huge pullback like this, I mean, we've had a huge run, an extremely big run. So we got a double bottom right here, a triple bottom, somewhere right around that support level right there. Okay, I said I've never seen anything like it, and I'm, somewhere right around there at 508.66. If that doesn't hold, we could easily drop down to right around 503 area. 503 for a triple top and get in right there. That would be a good spot. If we pull back and hit 503, I'm going to be watching it real close. That's going to be the SPY. And we got to run up and hit the 63 on the 4-hour time frame. Now this is Nile. I've had a little bit of hope last week for Nile, but now that this stuff's happened over in Iran, I'm going to leave China alone still. They've been pumping the heck out of China trying to get it to bounce. And we had a new low Friday. And, I was kind of rooting this on a little bit last week, thinking we'd break 479, and we just couldn't do it. So I'm about ready to take it off my watch list, but I want to keep it on here just in case we get a big knife and I can buy me a couple thousand shares and run it up for 50 cents. Tesla, we're still bullish, but we're also bearish because we're under the 200. So we need to break the 200 to become bullish on the 1-hour time frame. As of right now, I just got to be real careful in this market because of the tension that's going on in the Middle East. So I'm just going to be scalping and day trading. So if right now, I can't take the trade because we're so close to the 200 on the 1 hour. So if it drops down, maybe down here to this here area down in here, I might jump in it and run it back up to the 200. And if it breaks the 200, I'll run it up to the head and shoulders up here and get out of the trade at 178. 178. And support level to start with would be right here on the head and shoulders at 168.42. AMD pulling back a little bit. Now, I mean, this stuff with the Middle East over there is not good. Not good. And here's another one that's had a real huge run. And I'm not falling for this big, huge run on these stocks. As beautiful as it is, I mean, $81 all the way up to $227. And I'm yelling and screaming and saying, get the frick out of these trades. They're up way too much. You get up there around 300% on a trade in a year. 300? So yeah, back to the 200 maybe would be a good spot to take this trade. But for right now, I got a 150.39 support to hold. And these people are going to try to talk you into it, but I guarantee a lot of them took profit. Here's, QQQ 309 all the way to 449, so it's up $150, 140. Come back and hit the 63 maybe and take that trade. So NVIDIA, here's another good one. They were calling this out last week when things were looking bad. They were saying this was your go-to trade, NVIDIA. Well, I'm telling you, it's up too damn much. It's up 400%. Hello? I got my alert set for 789.22. Amazon. I mean, I'll still trade NVIDIA. It's a great day trade. I mean, this is my number one goal here. So we got head and shoulders right here. So we come in here on a Monday See if it holds this head and shoulders. If it holds that head and shoulders, I can run it up here to the resistance level. Now, when you see a resistance level in this market, take your profit, because this market's up too damn high. But you got a head and shoulders right here. I mean, if this doesn't hold, then you got support right there, and then the double, triple bottom 1, 2, 3 here, right around 850. Take and run your trend line right there. Set your alert for low. Set it right here off this W. That's how you fine tune a trade. So your support's right here, right above 850, but it could stop right here because that's your solid support. That's fine tuning it. 553.75 for NVIDIA. Amazon was being pumped big time last week, and we had a good pullback on Friday. This is beautiful thing off the 200 SMA on the 1 hour. Watch it close. But yet, here's another one that's had a huge run, but not big enough compared to the other ones that have ran 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2,000, 3,000%. Now, IWM's pulled back pretty hard. I'm going to be watching that one Monday. WFC had a big knife on it. We reversed back up to the upside. Not good. Google. This was definitely one that they're pumping big time. I mean, CNBC was pumping Google and Amazon all week long, like they did Lilly, like they did NVIDIA, like they did all these other runners that they pumped for 2 to 3 weeks. But they were hard. They know that the big money has shifted into Amazon and Google. I've been calling it out. If you missed it, you missed it. It's been a couple of weeks ever since I've been calling irrational exuberance. These are the ones that did not run with that run. So they were all over it. I added BABA. Now I don't know if I want to add BABA and trade it or not. I mean, I was really kind of liking it last week, and then all of a sudden, man, somebody dropped the floor on that baby. So we're at support again. You know, I could day trade it, but I don't think I'm ever going to swing trade this until I'm ready. BABA. Morgan Stanley's got earnings. Look at this thing drop. This, you know, these bank stocks are way overbought, but they're coming to support. Disney. This was a stock, buy on rumors, sell on news. We're definitely getting that support on Disney, so keep your due diligence. Keep it on watch this week for Disney. They'll start pumping it and wonder why it's down. But we're sell on news, buy on rumor. TSM, great news last week. We waited for the 200. We're starting off on the 200 on Monday. We got to see what this baby's going to do. We got to break resistance, 142.88, or if we pull back and create a shoulder line off this head and shoulders, right down around 138, oh, I'll load this boat up. Right there. That's where I'm going to start it in a way. 138.63. Set your alert for TSM. Meta, another overbought stock. Huge. Overbought, big time, scary. And they were pumping this sucker last week on CNBC. And I'm saying, you fucking idiots. But let it come down a couple hundred points before you start diving in on this. But we got the 200 here. We could take it off the 200 on the 4 hour. So I'm going to set an alert right there above that 200. And actually, it's a neckline, so it might work. Boeing, more bad news. Keeps getting bad news. We did hit my support. Boeing did, and dropped a little bit below it. I don't know what to do about this stock. It's got to start being consolidate. We're going to go to 120. It's only $40 away. Might start. We'll see. I think this could be a good day trade, just because it's so cheap. Adobe. I'm all over Adobe. We got 3 different supports on this one here. We're looking for 453. China, Baidu. Man, I was getting ready to take this trade last week. Now we've got a 1, 2, 3 down here at the bottom on 4-hour time frame, 180 days. Keep a good eye on it. Now the Donald, this war coming out, I wouldn't doubt it if this thing starts to bounce a little bit. The Donald, DJT. Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it one bit. $36, 32, 33 to break. When we break 33, we go to 36. And that's the Donald J. Trump, DJT. SMCI, another one that was way overbought. Way overbought. Way overbought. It's just hard to say where support is on this. We had a double bottom here. So we're going to retest this descending triangle. 1, 2, 3. And if that bounces off that, we'll easily take it up to the 200. Back to the shoulder line. Still the 200 SMA. Netflix. Expensive. Got to see what it's going to do this week. Got added Goldman Sachs, Kakao Banks, Lulu. Huge pullback on Lulu. Now it did hit my support level. I do have a 321.40 next, but this was one of my solid supports. I would be watching Lulu. Lily, another one that took a big hit Friday. And we're down at the bottom of down support down here. But again, I'm going to keep emphasizing, I'm not too excited about buying these dips until there's some kind of resolution in the Middle East. I'm going to just see what the market gives to me. This is a setup. On a normal bullish day, I'd take this trade. And that's Lily. So we'll definitely have it on watch. Definitely have it on watch. And same thing with Mr. Here's another one that ran just, I kept telling people, I said, God, man, this thing's at 2,000. Are you serious? I called this out at $450 and we're already at 2,000. Hello? It's way overbought. Even at I don't care what the earnings are. You can't. It's just, it's worth $800 maybe, but it ain't worth no $2,000. So that's it. I'm still watching this market. My sentiment is definitely below the 50% mark. I'm not in denial. Many traders are in denial. CNBC has been in denial, but so far I've played it almost to a T. I've got stuck in a couple trades last week and took one loss. But, when you're stuck in a trade where you got to make a business decision, are you going to go ahead and wait for the dip and catch the knife and buy a bunch of contracts where you just bought a couple now and it drops so cheap and you hope for a bounce? Hope. because I'm not very bullish in this market, period. I'm going to trade it pretty good, but not at these levels. Not at these extreme levels. So keep a good eye out on earnings this week. Banks. Discover's on here. Morgan Stanley, Johnson & Johnson, Bank of America. That's going to be a good one. And that's Tuesday before the market opens. JB Hutt, Abbott, Discover, Sands, Blackstone. That ought to be a good one. Alley, Nokia, Netflix, Alpine, American Express, Procter & Gamble. That's solo. So yeah, action-packed next week. Be careful. Sneaky Snake trading strategy, where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in now. Just be extra careful. You have to sit here and just hold your market, hold your stocks, and you're ready every day. After I've been saying this for months, I'm telling you, we're overbought big time. These people on CNBC are telling you different. But when stocks run 2 to 3 to 400% in a year, I ain't falling for it. I'll catch you later. Even if it drives me, if you call me crazy, you call me nuts. But I've been here way too long, and I've seen bubbles. I've seen the 400, 500, 600% runs and watched them pull back, every one of them. So we'll catch you later. Retail traders, Sneaky Snake trading strategy, where I talk about chart patterns, moving averages, and being in the now. Have a great day.